in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova in the sky.
And welcome back. Good Life Show. And we got a little Champagne Supernova going on. A little bit of a song to intro our next guest, Christy Devaney. She and Andy, I met recently. You've heard me talk about the Champagne event that we went to in San Francisco a month or two ago. And it was a pretty interesting event. It was up on the 32nd floor of the St. Francis, and kind of a cool crowd. A lot of internationals up there, and people that I had no idea who they were. And I was walking around trying the different champagnes, and I saw this couple over there really getting into the discernment of all the various flavor notes in the nose and all this of champagne. I was drawn over there and started to chat with them, and ended up meeting our next guest, Christy. She's an author of a couple of websites, Cave Girl, which is we're going to get into here in a minute, and Cake Girl. She's a chef. She's a wine enthusiast, a runner, not to mention she's a marketing and graphics design expert. Cave Girl is a website that focuses on food, wine, and travel, kind of like MikeTheWineGuy.com, and healthy living. She's really a model of walking her talk. So I want to welcome her to the show right now. Thanks for joining us today, Christy.
Hi, Mike. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So what have you been up to?
Well, I actually just got back from my run. It's really warmly strange weather we're having in California. I mean, we had a storm, and then now it's really warm for December. So I was out there in the outdoors enjoying that.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I mean, it's almost like, I don't want to compare it to Hawaii, but I mean, it is so temperate out there. No jackets necessary, and the air is so clean, and everything is so fresh now that the rain has really sort of washed everything down. It's really nice.
Yeah, not to mention it's beautiful. All the leaves have turned, and the sky is so blue. And I know I sound it sounds cheesy, but it's really true. And I'm just blessed to live here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're up in the Sierra foothills. You're in a little different part than I am, but yeah, we're all in that same sort of microclimate. Well, that's really great. That's what the show's all about. I mean, during the rest of the week, Christy, I mean, there's, as you well know, there's just so much that inundates us with information that, there's a certain limit and saturation point that we just don't need to go there anymore. And I think of this show as sort of the antidote to all that. So welcome to the show. Now, I want to talk a little bit about you're going to be with us for a little while, so we're going to sort of take off slowly here. But part of the food part we're going to talk about today is paleo. And for those that don't know, we're going to let Christy explain a little bit more about it. But I've spoken about it a number of times, and I'm I can't say an avid follower, but I know of it, and I try to adhere to the basic principles. But why don't you fill us in a little bit? I have a few friends that have asked me, can I please give them a straight answer on what is paleo?
Sure. I guess my elevator pitch on paleo is pretty much anything that your grandmother's grandmother would have heard of, meaning anything processed is not allowed in the diet. People think it's super meat heavy, but I tend to focus on fresh vegetables and fruits, and then add in the meat kind of just to cap it off to fill me up. Typically, we don't do dairy, although there's kind of an offshoot of paleo called primal. Mm-hmm. And they allow dairy, so we do from time to time have a treat like with cheese.
And the purpose really is because, as I understand it too, a lot of the followers of the paleo, for one, the belief is that our bodies obviously we've evolved over time, but because we've made so much progress with food and agriculture over the last couple of generations, that our bodies haven't been able to adapt quite as readily, and so as a result, we're better off eating the way that we used to eat before that we had agriculture.
Right, exactly. people kind of complain about the price of food, but it's actually pretty cheap to eat. And that's why it's a big problem, is because you can pretty much walk in anywhere and get anything that you want any time of the day or night. And that's why we have an obesity problem.
Right.
Our ancestors didn't have access to food, sometimes for days at a time. So that's why I think just Americans in general have this problem.
Yeah. Well, it becomes a lifestyle, and it's sort of it's kind of culturally looked good upon. I'm in a grocery store a lot of the time, and when I see the food choices that people make, sometimes it blows my mind, and I've overheard conversations. I swear to God, this happened last week. A bunch of ladies were in there, and they were looking at these big chunks of Velveeta cheese, and I don't mean to, single anybody out, but I mean, they were, just, I guess, unaware. But I mean, and one lady was saying, you don't even have to refrigerate this stuff. And the other one's going, yeah, it's really great. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, you could also eat, clay or, rubber or something like that. I mean, it's really, really gnarly. Anyway, well, food is kind of a social thing, and we're in the holiday season now. And I know that it's kind of hard to maintain a quote unquote diet, but you're really more of a lifestyle food chooser than saying you're on any particular diet, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just into clean food in general. I used to be like super religiously paleo and just kind of like that, and just was kind of in love with the dogma of paleo. But I've walked away from that a little bit. I'm way more functional, way more normal, and way less judgmental of other people. People can eat whatever they want to eat. That's fine, but if they want to make a change in their lives and they're tired of the struggle and they're tired of being addicted to sugar, they can feel free to email me, call me, ask me questions, because I've been paleo since March 2011, and I thought I actually did it as a last-ditch resort because I had yo-yoed back and forth 20, 30 pounds, and I was tired of that. I was tired of always having food cravings and being cranky all the time. And paleo has truly helped me get through that and have a balance in my life, and I'm happier than I've ever been before.
Well, you sure looked it the other day when we were up in San Francisco. You and Andy were just totally enjoying the moment, and I don't mean that to reflect that had much to do with the champagne. You guys look like you're truly enjoying your life anyway, and I know we'll get into that in a little while, but you're both runners, and you both have sort of interesting, interests that you can share with each other, and that's another thing that makes life really good, is when you can, you're healthy and you're conscious and you have somebody to share with.
Yeah, I have to say I was super, super lucky to find him. I actually met him at a wine tasting in the neighborhood, and I couldn't believe it was like a needle in a haystack because, we ended up having the same political beliefs as well, and we were both doing paleo before we even met. So it was pretty neat to meet somebody that was also into wine as much as me.
I'll say. No, it's funny how that happens. We can go through our whole life searching for just the right person, or we could be with somebody, but then all of a sudden, you just, for no reason, like you say, needle in a haystack, 1 in a million. It just happens sometimes. I can totally relate to that. Well, listen, tell us a little bit about your site, your website, Cave Girl. Tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
Well, so Cave Girl used to be Cake Girl, and I still have Cake Girl because it gets some double exposure for my advertisers. And it has a big log of the old recipes that I used to do, which are still fun for treats from time to time with the sugar and the flour, whatever. But I actually transitioned and rebranded myself because they call paleo the caveman diet.
Okay.
So I thought, it would be really cute to change Cake Girl to Cave Girl.
Right.
And so I just ran with it.
Okay.
And my website started out as kind of just a paleo thing, and then I began to write more about wine, and then it kind of evolved into a travel thing too, because I started taking some media trips to Napa Valley, and then it was Carmel, and then it would be some other areas in California. Mendocino was one of them, and it's just kind of evolved. And I've been extremely lucky, and I'm completely humbled that people value my opinion and they want me to come out and stay at their hotel and just get the word out for them.
Absolutely. Now, that's what the fun thing that we connected with, too, is that when I mentioned my site and what my tagline was, food, wine, travel, and lifestyle, both you guys kind of lit up and went, oh, well, she does that too, kind of thing. So
yeah, exactly.
You've got a little different angle on it, which is great. There's plenty of room out there for all of us. And, I just think it's great that we can share the enthusiasm for doing what we do. Well, listen, stick around. We're going to keep you over for the next segment if you want to stick around. And we'll be right back with more of The Good Life. We got Christy Devaney on here, and you're listening to me, Mike the Wine Guy. Stick around. There's more to come.